Onefour are an Aussie success story from the unlikeliest of places. Despite having a rich multicultural heritage, Western Sydney is usually stereotyped as crime-ridden and a bit of a backwater. No one really takes Western Sydney seriously outside of Western Sydney. However, Onefour are proudly Mount Druitt, and 2019 was meant to be their year. Their initial success came from viral videos using the style of drill rap. This online popularity was meant to translate into a huge national tour towards the end of 2019. However, this was met with fierce opposition from the New South Wales Police. Their story, as it is still unfolding today, captures the contentious relationship that Australia has with rap, race, and the law. For context, drill rap originated from Chicago in the US, but later became popular in the streets of the UK, particularly in rough London neighbourhoods. These groups consisted of young lads posing and making videos about their gang activity, whether fictional or otherwise. However, the London Met Police have been quite vocal in shutting down these groups.
Individuals are putting up videos, taunting other groups, and then causing violence. Then it's a catalyst. These videos are a catalyst for violence, and YouTube should be doing more to get rid of them, to stop that.
The Index of Censorship condemned this action by the UK police, with CEO Jodie Ginsberg saying, "Banning a kind of music is not the way to handle ideas or opinions that are distasteful or disturbing. This isn't going to address the issues that lead to the creation of this kind of music, nor should we be creating a precedent in which certain forms of art, which include violent images or ideas, are banned. We need to tackle actual violence, not ideas and opinions." For the boys in Onefour, 2019 was a dream come true. As they rap in their song, In the Beginning, now everybody wants to drill, ching, shoot, because they are indeed one of the hottest trendsetters in Australia at the moment. Their videos even garnered them cosigns from big UK acts such as Skepta and Dave. And 3 of their music videos made the top 10 most watched videos according to YouTube Australia last year. As you can imagine, similar to their UK counterparts, the New South Wales Police were not happy and applied pressure to venues to shut down Onefour concerts. Now, towards the end of 2019, instead of embarking on their national tour, the group were forced to perform in secret pop-up shows, such as at the Lansdowne Hotel in August, or at the Kid Leroy's Homecoming show in November. They also recently performed at Home 2's bushfire relief concert before fleeing the Enmore Theatre to the sound of police sirens. Ultimately, the national tour was called off, with Sergeant Nathan Truman saying, and I quote, "I'm going to use everything in my power to make your life miserable." Truman has no problem in comparing Onefour to the likes of lethal bikie gangs. Now, that's not to say that boys like YP, Lex or Spenny haven't had troubled pasts, but to compare them with bikies is something else entirely. The police are even employing the same intimidation tactics used by groups like Strikeforce Raptor. If you don't know who Strikeforce Raptor are, then give them a quick Google and you'll see that this is quite a serious action. Now, not everything is always about race, but if we're talking about hip-hop and a group of proudly Pacifica boys like Onefour, I think it cannot be ignored. It's worth looking at one contemporary hip-hop example who is quite relevant and has also had his fair share of controversy in Australia, and that is Tyler, the Creator. Now, Tyler started as quite a controversial artist. His lyrics often used violent imagery, including multiple references to rape and homophobic slurs. However, he was only a teenager at the time, employing shock tactics on purpose, arguing that everyone thinks about this dark stuff, so why when he says it, it's such a big deal? To him, people just kept missing the point of his art.
You know, everybody thinks about dark shit. Why when somebody finally fucking says it, it's such a big deal, you know? Everybody goes home and it's some shit that eats them up inside that they don't really tell people, but they're just afraid to say this shit. Like, just why when somebody finally says shit that someone's thinking, it's such a big deal? People are, all he talks about is rape. Have you seen Quentin Tarantino's fucking movie? Why does everyone fucking get their dick cut off or some shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why nobody say nothing about that? It's fucking art. Why when a fucking black kid says it, it's such a big fucking deal? Like, really? It's fucking art. Listen to the fucking story.
Tyler was fascinated with exploring the darker sides of the human psyche, and he was using it as a tool to work through his own experiences of abandonment and self-loathing. Nowadays, he's matured a lot. He's won many awards, including the Wall Street Journal's Innovator of the Year in 2019. He is simply a changed artist. And in an ironic twist of fate, he's even become something of a prominent queer presence in a notoriously queer, unfriendly music scene. This begs the question, how many doors are being closed in the face of Onefour? If we had cut off an act like Tyler the Creator, we would not have heard a groundbreaking album like Igor, released last year. The potential of elevating young men such as Spenny, Lex, White P and JM, you could argue, is being short-circuited by an out-of-touch government obsessed with enforcing draconian laws just for the sake of appearing tough on crime. If you look deeper into the history of hip-hop as a global phenomenon, I recommend you could also look into the story of NWA and their problems with the FBI. Now, the wider community is taking notice of drill music and its conflict with the police. The Guardian published an article arguing that there is simply no evidence that drill music leads to an increase in crime. And a former New South Wales detective also spoke with New Zealand reporters last year, stating that these New South Wales police tactics simply have not worked. Of course, these issues must be addressed, but with a more optimistic outlook. Now members like Sally Onefour and YP are serving time for their past mistakes, but even this experience has opened up a whole new avenue for dialogue and artistic expression. This can be heard in their much more mature and introspective single, Welcome to Prison, released earlier this year. It's a very different approach and sound for Onefour, signaling an exciting new chapter in their musical careers. By throwing men like these in prison, by banning their concerts, it's cutting off a whole generation of kids who look up to these guys. The impact that Onefour has had in a few short years is already being felt on the ground in places like Mount Druitt. Speaking with artist-manager Ricky Simanjuntak, he said, the fact that Onefour did it on their own without any major label support or backing other than themselves, the fact that they were able to do it on the back of their own creativity, it has had a massive impact on kids in Mount Druitt. And it's not just in rap. People are being inspired in the creative fields of photography, design, fashion, videography. Seeing boys like Onefour make it in the big world is huge. Their impact really cannot be understated. What may have begun as a simple argument about playing a show has evolved into something much bigger. Police are stepping up their presence in places like Mount Druitt, intimidating locals, questioning teachers and council members about their involvement with Onefour. You could say that they're using Onefour as scapegoats for all the bad stuff that happens out west, and are left continually unaddressed, just because the police want to appear tough on these so-called drill gangs. Despite these setbacks, 2020 is just the beginning. Onefour is not letting anything stop them. If anything, they're more empowered than ever, and are ready to start a new chapter. They recently won the prestigious Song of the Year at FBI Radio's Smack Awards. And even just this month, in March 2020, they had a surprise collaboration with A$AP Ferg, creating this unique and historic moment between Western Sydney and the birthplace of hip-hop, New York City. That is huge, and it's really incredible what these guys have achieved and are continuing to do. 2020 is the year that Onefour claims their own, and we should be there supporting them every step of the way. If you like this content, you can go ahead and read the long-form post that formed the basis for this video essay. You can find it over at deadset.press. Follow us on all the socials, and stay tuned for more video essays of this kind in the future.
Why the fuck would I rap about the same shit on my first album when I was broke as fuck? It's progression, so no, in fucking 3 years from now, I'm not gonna rap about shit I did a year ago.